I'm CTWE wrestler The Mac.
And I'm Showtime Stevie Stamos.
Have you ever dreamed of owning your own race car and taking it out for a test drive? Well, thanks to our friends at Rent a Race Car, you can!
Visit www.rentaracecarne.com for all the details on how you can take one of these babies out to Stafford Motor Speedway. We'll see you at the races.
Touchdown!
What's one of the biggest challenges of managing a fleet of trucks, tractor trailers, and material handling equipment? Hassling with maintenance, repair, and vehicle breakdown. Trans Service's dedicated contract maintenance service, DCM, takes that hassle away. We maintain your fleet, no matter what the configuration, to the highest standards, while giving you the greatest cost control. We offer preventative maintenance executed to maximum utilization, equipment life, and necessary repairs, all tracked by a state-of-the-art paperless computerized system. Assistance with equipment engineering, configuration, including new engine technology, and onboard computers for your fleet, as well as dedicated fleet contract maintenance. Dedicated on-site service facilities staffed with management and certified maintenance technicians, inventories of parts, tires, and fluids, and all necessary shop equipment, diagnostic tools, and technology. Supporting services such as equipment inspections and assistance with meeting regulatory requirements, DOT, OSHA, EPA. Contact us today to learn about our turnkey contract maintenance solutions. It's all about the experience, yours and ours.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Vidane TV, NEPS Night in America, the Grand National Series brought to you by Shift Marketing and Design, here with the New England, Pennsylvania iRacing Groups, racing at Auto Club Speedway, 60 laps on the board, just getting qualifying wrapped up, about 3 minutes for these drivers to make their lap times, get themselves qualified in for the big show here this evening. Showtime Paul Strickland Jr. coming at you, as always, with a newcomer here, making his debut up here in the broadcast booth, David Polens. David, great to have you here last minute. Just got off the cell phone with you, and you said, yep, I'll be in the booth in 5 minutes. So great to have you here this evening, and how we doing tonight?
Not bad, man. Looking forward to it. Been looking forward to working with Vidane TV and yourself, man. Goes back a little bit. We had a big race early last year that Vidane TV did for us, and it was pretty incredible, and we've kept in touch, and sure enough, it kind of worked out for us to call a race together finally.
Absolutely. Been looking forward to it for a long time, and you definitely won't be disappointed. This NEPS crew puts on a fantastic show everywhere they go, and really excited to see the guys get wrapped up in qualifying. Looks like everybody is going to make the show 22 cars strong here, and on the pole is going to be a driver that is in the #1 spot as soon as I pull up my standings that are a little bit on the jacked up side. So we'll get that running order to you as soon as we can. But the drivers are starting to line up down there on pit road. We're going to get ready for some green flag action again here at Auto Club Speedway. There you can see them lining up 2 by 2. And the time we get scoring will update momentarily. These drivers essentially have to go through and cross the line. One of the, I wouldn't call it a flaw with the iRacing simulation that we're using here tonight, but it's definitely something that could have a little bit of room for improvement. But speaking of improvement, I did get a little bit of a status update. We have been talking about that 1-year anniversary, that 1-year birthday makeover we're going to be getting here at Vidane TV. And, well, Dave Pelez is Blends is the guy that's going to be doing all those graphics up here for us, and told me that progress is definitely going very, very well. So really excited for that. Definitely keep an eye out on the social media channels. Vidane TV on Twitter, Vidane TV on Facebook, over on YouTube as well. And we actually got a little bit of behind-the-scenes action going on, streaming over on Twitch as well tonight, Strictly 9-4, to get yourself kind of a behind-the-scenes view as to how these shows get put on. And just really excited to get going here. Everybody lined up, waiting for that pace car to get the heck out of Dodge so we can go racing.
That's right. It looks like John Peters is our pole setter. I did catch that at the end of qualifying. He had a good enough time to sit out front, so he's lined up there on the front row, as you can see. And definitely, we got some cool stuff coming to Vidane TV, man. And you already have a great look going on here, so I got some work cut out for me to make it even more unique and little even better for the guys in this field to show off to their fans and partners. So if you guys ever want to partner, make sure you contact Vidane TV or myself over at Elite Media and Graphics. But yeah, guys, looking forward to 60 laps here as we get ready. Their pace car is going to pull off here in just a moment.
There we go, and everybody's down and away, and want to give a shout out to everybody watching over on Facebook, on YouTube, and everybody that gave us a shout out on Twitter throughout the week. One of the greatest things here with this NEPS group here, David, is as we can see Dylan Kopech not qualifying. He's going to be coming up from the rear, and Brent Royce is party in the back, the lone Canadian hanging out in the back of the pack with Dylan Kopech. One of the cool things is these guys are so interactive with the fans, with the drivers, sponsors. Everybody's over on Twitter, and a lot of times these drivers will have their phones out on their desk, and they'll be watching the race from the cockpit of the race cars. And there's a lot of fan interaction under caution. So really cool to do that. Not exactly the safest thing to do, but it's one of the perks we can do here with the iRacing service. And you made mention John Peters up front at 51. That's the champ, the defending, reigning and defending champ. And, well, we saw the notes on Twitter last week. There's three things you got to do. You got to go fast, you got to turn left, and you got to beat up John Peters.
Yeah, you know, I've been watching the highlights on Vidane TV lately, and that 51 seems to be out front all the time. Very good-looking white and blue machine. We get ready to come to the green flag looking like here at Auto Club. Pace car will be pulling off here in just a moment. I'll let you call it there, Paul. You got it from here, man.
iRacing Mustang pace car making that hard left-hand turn. Oh, that's the truck. The pace truck makes the hard left-hand turn. Green flag in the air. We are underway here at Auto Club Speedway. John Peters gets the jump, but Kenny Kibbe out on the outside holding on tough, and it looks like we're already going to try and go 3 wide. You see the 56 of Evan Bullier making it down to second place. He's going to try and set his sights on John Peters and try and close in on that leader.
John Peters looks to take it out front already. He's got 5 car lengths over the second position there of Kenny Kibbe. He's already trying to set sail, but we got some more action going on through the pack. Looks like we got 1 car off the track in a 12. He was down on the apron already. A little bit of problems for the 12 car for the start of this race.
David Aru dropping back to the pack. Unfortunate events. It looks like he's going to have 4 or 5 seconds behind this leader here, but still single file up front. John Peters is going to take that first lap. Kenny Kibbe second. Evan Bullier third. Corey Casagrande. Strange to see him up front. He's up in the 3rd position, getting passed right now by the 22 machine of Devin Marhefka. Kind of side-by-side battle. This California Speedway, or Auto Club Speedway, as it were, David, it has a lot of different lines that we'll see here. Almost looking 3 wide here for 5th place. A lot of guys will run up top. A lot of guys will run the bottom. And then there's like 3 or 4 other grooves in the center.
Well, there's definitely something about the iRacing effect for these cars on these big, wide racetracks. When you get to these, there tends to be even more lines than there is in the real life deal. Is these guys are able to run up all the way by that wall. They got a new draft package too that's set in iRacing. I'm not quite sure if it's set on these darker cars, but it's cool. If you're up against the wall, you can kind of feel that buffer in between and ride the wall like the big guys do, like Kyle Larson and Tyler Reddick. They can haul around the top side, or you can be a bottom feeder like Kevin Harvick. Here as we see the 52 and that Zero machine are doing. They like that bottom line so far, but they seem to be settled in so far, but we got a few 2x2 back there. Looks like the 22 machine still trying to hold on into that top 5.
Side by side with Matt Kenfield there in the 76 up high, 22 down low. And it's really a matter of where your car feels the most comfortable as these drivers straighten it back out there. You can see the 10 of Dale Glessner trying to join the party. Jumps in right in front of the number 9 of Jason Ricker. And for the most part, pretty much single file all the way through the field here that we can see Brandon Marhefka on the low side. Check that. That is the 78 of Michael Hopkins down on the low side. Just trying to feel the racetrack out, going where everybody else isn't, seeing if he can maybe pick up some real estate, try and move himself up towards the front of the pack. But looking like side by side right now for the lead. Kenny Kibbe dipping on down low, trying to get past Johnny Two Belts up on the bottom side, and looks like he's going to get it with ease coming out of turn number 4 here.
Yeah, it looks like Johnny just got a little bit tight, but he seems to have to run down a front stretch here. Now, there's no side draft effect on this sim, but they're going to try to pinch each other through the turn typically here to hold the other one down. Maybe not so early in this race. Looks like John's going to let him go. He got tight last time through 4 on the high side. I don't think he liked doing that to the right front too much as he gets straight back to the bottom and looks back beneath Kenny Kibbe. The battle for the lead seems to all gone to Kenny Kibbe already here 5 laps in.
Falling right back into his tire tracks. He's going to see if he can save a little bit of tire action for the later on parts of the race. Definitely going to have to make at least one pit stop here with these ARCA cars. Not sure when that is going to come, but lots of practice these guys have been doing with the green flag pit stops, coming down, making sure they get the car woed up. We've seen green flags here on Vidane TV from these Shift Marketing and Design Grand National drivers many, many times throughout this season and the past season, as well as in the Super Truck Series, too, the 6 Truck Series. We're actually going to be crowning a champion here tomorrow night at the Atlanta Motor Speedway for the NEPS Super Truck Series. Big time excitement there. We're actually got 3 championships getting decided here in the next 7 days. We've got the NEPS Super Truck Series tomorrow night. Saturday night, we're going to find out who's going to get that Pro-Am Belts Championship belt in the Sim 500 Vidane Racing Super Speedway Series. And the next Tuesday night, the RBR Maritime Group, they're going to be crowning their champion for season number 3 as well. So lots of gold getting handed out here on Vidane TV, and could not be happier to see it, and could not be happier to be partnered up with all these leagues.
That's awesome, man. Looking forward to those championship nights here on Vidane TV. Always exciting to see drivers put it all on the line. As we're still single file, but keeping an eye on the behind-the-scenes action here, the lap times. We got Kenny Kibbe ran a 42.230, but just back in 3rd position. Evan Ballou runs a 42.074, so he's currently nearly 2/10 quicker. Now, John Peters found his rhythm once again. He seems to be a little bit faster than our leader. He's going to try to track him back down. It seems as though when he was out front, he didn't like the way that car was handling, and he gets that draft now down that long straightaway. He just pops off a 41.983. Actually, sorry, that was his fast lap. His last lap was a 3:46, just a tad slower than that leader, Kenny Kibbe.
We can already see we're not even 10 laps into the run, and some of the lap times have dropped off 3 to 4 tenths of a second. So you might see some of these guys maybe take 2 tires, but I think a lot of drivers are going to be begging for 4 fresh tires as they come down pit road. Still single file up front, pretty much the status quo. Kenny Kibbe out front, Johnny 2 belts there in 2nd, Evan B in a 3rd. Started calling him Belvedere because nobody can say his last name correctly. I know I've been butchering it all season long, so Belvedere it is. Corey Casagrande in 4th, and a newcomer in that 5th position. Give it a Zany, the number 14 of Zane Farrell, right on the back bumper of Corey Casagrande, letting him know he's there. Hasn't quite gotten right up to the bumper yet, but definitely a mirror full of that 14 machine.
14 is definitely working his way to the front. He's been peeking in and out of that 52 car so far the last couple of laps. He's choosing to stay in line this time by and work back at it. The guy I'm still keeping an eye on is Evan B. Like you said, I don't know if that's the right way to say his last name, but I think Gary Ballou, so I said Evan Ballou. That can't be an insult because Gary was one of the best in the local short tracks. Anyway, enough about that. We got Evan B. He's looking onto that 2nd position already. He ran him in from nearly 10 cars back.
Really tough to do. Really tough to get to the back bumper of John Peters in these ARCA cars, and really even more difficult to try and get around him as well. So we'll see how that works out. Working lap number 10. 10 down, 50 to go here in the Auto Club 60 for the Grand National Series, brought to you by Shift Marketing and Design for the New England, Pennsylvania iRacing Group. And again, want to welcome everybody aboard on all the social media outlets. Vidane TV on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and we're over on Twitch as well this evening, doing a little bit of behind-the-scenes stream as well, twitch.tv/strictly94. And great racing here, top 5, pretty much status quo still, single file all the way throughout. Take a peek here back to 6th and 7th, you see the 22 of Devin Marhefka, Dale Glessner, single file, Jason Rickner, Matt Chinosky, Matt Kensfield kind of rounding out the top 10. Pretty much, you can go through the field here as we're seeing them come out of turn 2. Everybody's pretty much single file, but they're kind of feeling inside and outside, trying to pretty much see where the driver in front of them is going to make a mistake, see where they're stronger, where they're weaker, however the racing may go. And it's great to see. These guys are still clean, still green, and still trying to work themselves up to the front. You can see the 10 of Glessner dipping down low to try and let that car breathe just a little bit, but he closes in on the back bumper of the 22 with Devin Marhefka, and really is just kind of pulling, almost pulling the accordion back together as he shoots on down low.
I love that 10-car paint scheme as he peeks beneath Devin Marhefka. He's looking to get under that 22. The 22's been kind of all over the place. At one moment, he was battling for a top 4 spot. He was back to 8th or 9th. Now he's just trying to hold on to that top 7 position. Looks like that 10 machine's gonna get him here. He gets to the bottom, he pulls it off, doesn't even need the slide job to do it, but that's a great looking 10 car with that channel lock paint on it. That's an old throwback. I'm trying to remember who drove that car, but I see the Monte Carlo stickers on the front bumper. That just took me back to childhood memories, man. Good looking car.
Absolutely, definitely. I'd have to look it up. I'd probably have to ask Dale who the throwback scheme was, but that's one of the cool things about this NEPS league. They do a lot of the throwback stuff, lots of ties to New England racing, New England short track racing. A lot of these drivers from Connecticut, from Maine, Brent Roy from Canada. Got a lot of guys from Pennsylvania. Zany runs a late model down in at Jennerstown. So a lot of ties to racetracks in the Northeast up here. I myself from Connecticut, my home track Stafford. So really cool to see these cats racing, iRacing, and then head to the track wearing a Vidane TV shirt, and everybody kind of recognizes the logo, which is pretty cool. We can see Jason Rickner now working that top side, trying to get a little bit of draft off that number 10 machine, but he's got some company. Marhefka on the 22 trying to take a peek down low.
Yeah, that 22 tried to work back up there. He's learned his lesson on that middle lane, has not been working for him. He lost 2 spots there. He's now sitting back in that 8th position. He's just trying to hang on tight to that hot rod, but seems as though he needs to be on the bottom of the racetrack, keeping that left front down on the apron like these guys in front of him in the 10 car who picked him off just a moment ago. The 10 actually has moved up a little bit. I like these guys that are running them cars, that left front right on that white line. It's hard to do because if you slip up, hit that apron, you can lose it and hit the fence. It's very easy to do on this sim. You've got to be very careful. Some people use the whole apron here at Auto Club. They can get all the way down there, not so much in 1 and 2 as you see there. That is quite a bit of a different banking from the apron to the top groove. But down in 3 and 4, it seems like that transition is a little bit better. So sometimes these guys late in the run, when the car starts tightening up, they can get down there and use that apron to find a little bit of extra speed.
And it's one of those things a lot of these drivers are familiar with in real life. Stafford Motor Speedway has the same deal. A super flat apron, and a lot of drivers will use that apron to pretty much get the car turned, depending on what type of car they're running. So it's almost one of those things that kind of transfers right into the simulation, which is pretty cool. Taking a quick look back up front, looks like Kenny Kibbe still holding tough. Johnny Two Belts right behind him in the number 51, almost right on his back bumper as we see them coming out of turn number 2. But Evan Bullier is still holding on. He's about half a second back, just kind of biding his time, maybe saving a little bit of tires. And then it's a 3-second gap back to the number 52 of Corey Casagrande and the 14 of Zane Farrell. So this field's starting to get spread out just a little bit, and good clean green flag racing action going on. 16 laps, check that, 17 laps on the board as they cross the stripe. And still looking pretty good side by side for the lead here as they head into turn number 1.
John Peters trying to drive down to the bottom, use that bottom lane, the shortest way around the racetrack to clear to 15. He might need a slide job here, but he doesn't have enough track position just yet. The 15 looks to use that high, wide momentum down the backstretch. It looks like it's going to work this time. That 51 has been biding his time, riding back in that second position. He was clear to go back up to the top groove behind the 15, but he's going to elect to go to the bottom. Are we going to see a slider? It's a little early for that, but I'm always looking for it here at the Auto Club Speedway as Kenny Kibbe is just hanging tight on the right rear quarter of that 51. He seems to have that high wide line working really nice for him, keeping that momentum up. The R is through the roof. The 15 trying to hold on for dear life for that top spot.
And here comes Bullier. We finally got the accurate pronunciation. Shout out to Lindsay checking us out on Facebook, hanging out in the Facebook chat. Appreciate that. It's Evan Bullier in the 56 machine. He's going to be joining the party up front, this side-by-side battle between the 15 and the 51. And there you can see a little bit of an ATV drone action going on as these cars are heading down into the turns. And great racing here at Auto Club Speedway.
Man, it's a three-car race for the lead, and everybody else is just looking at them sail away, man. They are fast right now. They're still running side by side. They're 3/10 quicker than the guy back in fourth. So these guys are racing hard. I was looking for Evan. You said Bullier, right?
Bullier.
This is what's great. Bullier. So this is what's great about the Twitch chat is, you know, you guys can update us and correct us when we're wrong, and also we get to enjoy having a little bit of fun conversation with you guys, and make sure we get these guys' names right, because the 56 is making his name known here right now as he tries to take down Johnny Two Belts and Kenny Kibbe for the top spot.
One thing I'm noticing here, Dave, I'm looking through the field, I'm not seeing the second place points driver, Ryan Libby. Doesn't look like he made the show here tonight. Maybe somebody in the chat can let us know what's going on there. You can see Bolliard using that apron. We saw that early, or we talked about that earlier on here, Dave, jumping down on that apron. It's not like Daytona Talladega where there's a double file or the double yellow line there. So not out of bounds. It's pretty much up to the driver discretion whether or not you think your car can hold on to it throughout the front stretch.
Oh, no doubt that 56 using every bit of the racetrack he can to try to get the advantage on these two front runners. He's right there right now looking on the back bumper to 15. He is going to do everything he can. The only part of the racetrack he shouldn't use is that grass, but you never know. It may come into play later in this thing, but got to keep that thing on that racing surfaces. He actually switches it up, shoots to the outside of the 15 machine. He's seen the 15 hanging on high wide there and handsome. He's going to try to do it himself here, keep them R's up, and it keeps you hauling down the straightaway. He's to the right rear quarter of Kenny Kibbe. Evan B drops back a little bit, maybe trying to pull a crossover move off the 2.
Probably spent the last 5 or 6 laps just kind of lagging back a little bit, studying the 51, studying the 15, seeing where they're stronger, where they're weak, and where they can get around. And we can see still a brawl fest back here for the 5th position. Give it to Corey Casagrande in the 52 right now, but Dale Glessner moved that 10 machine up to the 5th position, and he's got Zane Farrell still in the mix in the 14 car right in there. 22, Devin Marhefka, moves up to the 7th spot. Jason Richter joins his party. Whole crew of cars here. 3 wide as they cross the stripe. There you see the 0 of Matt Shanowski. Matt Kenfield up in the mix. The 61 is a little bit further back. You can see in the Little Trees car kind of taking a front seat of this action. But man, oh man, what a gaggle of race cars here from 5th on back.
That's right, man. These guys are stacked up 2 by 2 here. Sometimes 3 wide. That 9 car has been peaking every time beneath the 22 car. If he gets a chance, he's going to do it. There's plenty of room here at Auto Club to take that spot. He can take 2 at one time, but it looks like the 10 machine now shoots down to the bottom. Dale Glessner pulling a heck of a crossover 3 wide up off of 4. He runs out of room a little bit, has to pinch it off the door of the 22, but we're 3 wide once again coming to the line. Dale Glessner looks to take that spot away. Dale moving into the top 5 with that 10 channel lock machine.
In the words of our good friend Kyle Young, who's not here tonight, doing a little bit of road tripping down south, 3 wide. And seems like they settled it back down 2 by 2 throughout the pack, but still an absolute brawl between these drivers battling for that position. Pretty much 5th through 10th as they set the sights. They have pretty much the top 3 have checked out on the field, looking like a 6-second gap between 3rd and 4th. And there you can see the leaders up front. John Peters in the 51 holding on to the lead. Kenny Kibbe right behind him in the 15, and Evan Bollier in the 3rd position. Corey Casagrande, Devin Marhefka still at 4th and 5th. But just look at how many different lines these cars and these drivers are using.
No doubt that 9 and the 10 machine keep putting on a show right here, pulling crossovers back and forth. That's Jason Ricker in the 9 car. He's been staying right there, kind of the hawk side behind the action here, trying to find that position that's going to get him in front of all 3 of these guys at once. Hasn't quite pulled it off, but something we got to start thinking about here is 6 laps to halfway. I'm not quite sure of the fuel load on these cars, but I don't think they can quite make it to all 60 laps. We got to start thinking pit strategy, and if you're going to take tires or not. Most likely these guys, being nearly a second off the pace from their beginning run, are going to be taking tires if they come down. Also something you got to think about. If these guys are coming down on green flag stops, there's a good chance they didn't practice that today, because it's something very rare that happens in iRacing. I got caught sleeping on that when I went to the iRacing Open Series for the first time. I came down for green flag pit stops, spun out, went through the grass, and had all kinds of issues. And what that can bring is a caution. So what you got to worry about is a guy like John Peters who's got the hold on the field right now, but if he comes down and pits and a yellow flies and he falls a lap down, it could end his hopes of a win today. So you definitely got to be smart how you pull off this pit strategy coming shortly.
Absolutely, and I got a feeling we're going to see some strategy start to play out here in 4 or 5 laps. Just about 4 laps, 3 laps from halfway. Lap number 30 going to be the halfway marker in this race, the 60-lap distance. If you can make 30 laps on fuel, well, you can make 30 laps on fuel. You might see a couple of drivers kind of stay out for an extra lap or two just to make sure that they got that little bit of an insurance policy for the green-white checkered attempt. You can see a little bit of a battle starting to heat up for that second position. Kenny Kibbe starting to see a lot more yellow and red in his mirror. That 56 is starting to close in.
No doubt the 56 closing in, and I'm pretty sure if they are going to pit, the best option is going to be coming early, at least if you're settled a little bit further back, if you're trying to leapfrog some cars. So say you're sitting in the 5th position, you go down, grab your tires now, and the leaders opt to not come down pit road for another 5 or 10 laps. That's 5 or 10 laps. You're going to be a second to a second and a half faster than that leader. So you're able to leapfrog and make up that ground, because right now, going from John Peters back to, say, that 5th position, got quite a gap between them, 7 seconds. But figure, 7 laps difference on tires can be the difference of putting you in that lead if you're Dale Glessner, who has shown he's got some speed. He's right there. His times are about within a tenth of the leaders every lap when he's not battling with the cars behind him. But yeah, some big strategy coming, typical of Auto Club Speedway. If you mention Auto Club, sure enough, strategy's coming right behind it.
Absolutely. There's different strategies to play out. Tire strategy, fuel strategy, line strategy, draft strategy. All sorts of big brain thinking going on here. You see the 56, Evan Bollier, trying to take a shot down low, see if he can move up. He's got a little bit of a right up to the back bumper of the 15. There you see he's up to the door and shoots all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack. Going to use one of those little slide jobs actions, slide right back up in front of the 15, and a little bit of crossover action. Haven't seen too much of that going on tonight. 15 dips down low. He gets up to his door, a little bit of a wiggle down on the bottom side, cross the stripe, give it to the 15 by about a nose hair, and turn 1, and looks like the 56 going to go all the way up to the wall and kind of arc it back down. A little bit of a brawl session here going on for second place.
Looks like the 56 going to get that run up off of 2. I really like that high lane going into 1, and then he shoots down a racetrack, gets a lot of speed, and it also pinches the nose of the 15, takes the air off of it a little bit, and that makes the race car a little bit tighter as Evan completes the pass for that number 2 position. He's trying to set stale off the front bumper of Kenny Kibbe, who's I thought he was going to let him have it, but no, he seems to want to race really hard for this top 2 spot as he knows we're getting ready for pit stops. He wants to be the front guy headed down the pit road here in just a moment. But yeah, that 56 looking fast so far. He's just a few hundredths off of John Peters for the top spot when it comes to speed per lap. But he sits back. The gap is 1.2 seconds to that leader of John Peters.
You saw that last shot by as they were coming out of turn number 2, John Peters with that big lead, 1.2 seconds over the 56, and the 56 has a huge mirror full of Kenny Kibbe all over the back bumper. He wants that position. He wants that position bad, and we're going to actually take a look back at the 4th place. Still a brawl, 2x2. These 4 cars still shooting for that 4th place position. You can see the 0 of Shanowski, Matt Shanowski, moving on up into that 4th spot. A little bit of a challenge up there from the 10 of Glissner. The Rickner machine and the number 9, he's still down there in the Aubuchon machine. And Devin Marhefka, Austin Bolke, Corey Casagrande in the top 10. It looks like Corey Casagrande dropped back down to the 9th position. Zane Farrell back to 12th, so we might have missed a little bit of action there. I know the 52 and the 14 racing side by side for a few laps. Looks like they may very well have gotten into each other a little bit, kind of dropped their positions on towards the back. But tough break for those guys, but still 30 laps to go, just past halfway at this point. Plenty of time to gain some positions here on the racetrack as well as on pit road.
Loving it right here. This racing action going on through mid-pack. Some of the best racing is seen right here on the edge of the top 5. You got these guys that have been stacked up either 2x2 or right bumper to bumper under a blanket this entire 32 laps of this feature so far. You know, they got 28 laps to go. They're letting the guys in front of them get away, but I don't think they care as much. They're having so much fun. Something they don't want to do is knock a fender in. That's going to kill the aero on these machines. it can hurt you a lot, lose a lot of speed, and with limited caution so far, none actually, as a matter of fact, it could hurt you big time, put you a lap down. But anyway, we still got some guys here looking to make the move to 61 right on the back bumper to the 26 here. That's for your 10th position. That's for the edge of the top 10. These guys are putting on quite a show. Something you can do at Auto Club, dealing with this tire wear, getting door to door with guys. It gets kind of crazy. These guys start losing the air on the nose, sliding up. They can get the wall, get together. You never know what can happen.
Absolutely. This is pretty much the third pack. Brent Roy, the lone Canadian in the field, the 26 Wolf machine, holding tough in that 10th position. And one thing I noticed real quick, we've seen these guys kind of stretch out a little bit, giving each other some room. Big gap between Brent Roy, Brendan Uhouse there, and the Little Trees number 61. There's Zane Farrell again in the Auto Patlas 14 machine. Charles Lewandowski in the 01. The Chalu Performance Ryan, Matt Shinowski back, or Matt Kenfield rather, back a little bit further. And there you can see Brandon Marhefka in the 13. Everybody's starting to stretch out just a little bit, knowing that green flag pit stops have already started. Taking a peek, the number 78 there of Michael Hopkins came down pit road 2 laps ago, lost 2 laps on or to the leaders here, but everybody else is going to have to pit. So you can see him right there. He's in front of the second place. He's trying to chase down John Peters to try and get one of those laps back the hard way and hope for a lucky dog here if the caution does in fact come out. But he is going to be motoring down through. He's going to have some quicker lap times than some of these drivers by quite a bit by putting fresher tires on that car.
No doubt. It's looking like, compared to the best lap of the leader to what he's running now, the tire fall off is nearly a second and a half. So if you're going to come down now, I mean, that's the time to do it. If you're a guy like Kibbe or Boulier there, I would definitely come down and try to make the lead jump over that leader by making up a second and a half a lap. For those 1 or 2 laps he stays out longer, it can be the difference. It's only a 2.6 second gap up to John Peters right now.
Taking a peek at the leader right now, John Peters doing a great job holding on. And there you can see the 78 of Michael Hopkins kind of starting to close in just a little bit with those fresh tires. Definitely feeling like Superman here. At this point, he basically needs this race to stay green. He wants to get one of those laps back the hard way by driving around the leader here in number 51, which he should be able to get done in the next lap or so. You can see a little bit of a slide there from the champ John Peters as he comes out at turn number 2, but still holds that thing straight and points it in the right direction. So Michael Hopkins trying to get one of those laps back. We see Jeffrey Brown in the number 55 machine. Hasn't come down pit road, but he is a lap down as well. And it's looking like business is starting to pick up. There's the 44, Scott McDonald. He's going to come down pit road, get service to that Sheridan machine. And that may very well trigger some green flag pit stops. And there you see it, Michael Hopkins making one of those laps up the hard way. He's got to make up time, and he's got to hope that we can cycle all the way through these green flag pit stops so he can capitalize and make up the most time on those fresher tires.
No doubt. I think Peters is going to wait as long as he can until one of those top 3 cars come down and pit, and then he's going to make that move. And that's what I would do, because you're controlling the race right now, and really the 2 guys you got to worry about are sitting right behind you, that 15, Kenny Kibbe and Evan B in the 56 car. We're looking at him. If I'm in that second or third spot, you got to be thinking, let me come down before Peters. But you're worried about the caution. I don't think you're going to go lap down if you're sitting in second or third within 3 seconds of the leader. I know at Daytona you can pit and come out in front of the leader. I imagine the lap times are very similar. They're only about 2 seconds difference. You should be able to make it out before the leader comes all the way around. And if not, you should be able to leapfrog them in 1 or 2 laps. We see again Corey Casagrande, who was up there in the top 5 at one point. He's coming down pit road now a little bit early. And the 14 machine right behind him, he's coming down. That's Zane Farrell, and then Brandon Marhefka. All 3 hit pit road at the same time. Smart moves by these guys. Come down early, get them 4 Dr. Feelgoods to get back out there. See if you can make up some ground on the positions in front of you. Be surprised here. We got to keep an eye on it. Mainly our top 3. I'm curious if they pit at different times. We're going to see some big changes in the top 3.
100%. You can see Kyle Casagrande in the Skoll number 7 car, the leader of the Win and Party team in the Super Truck leagues, running their championship race tomorrow night at Atlanta. Always fun to follow Team WAP, and leader Kyle Casagrande with a newborn at home, so congratulations to him. Hopefully he's still able to get some sleep. But green flag pit stops in the works. We can see the 10 of Dale Glissner. He's going to come down. He's going to get service on that. Shoots past his pit crew. Now he's too far to the inside. That's heartbreaking.
Oh no, yeah, he's they're going to get it done though from that position. We've seen it done before. They're going to get it done, but that time right there is going to kill him off the pit road. I was hoping to keep an eye on him. I kept an eye on his position right before he pitted. He was in that 8th or 7th position. As we see, the 56 coming down. He's going to get those 4 tires first. It's looking like the 56 is going to have at least 1 lap of time to make up on those new tires before the other 2 leaders come down. I'm curious to see if John Peters and Kenny Kibbe smarten up right here and they come down right behind him. That's definitely the call. If I'm the crew chief, I'm hollering down to these 2 guys. Actually, we see a car around. Are we going to see a yellow? This could pay off in 2 ways here. It could either put that 56 machine a lap down, or it could put them in a position to not have to pit on the next yellow, but it doesn't look like we get the flag after all.
Nope, green flag stays out. That may very well be, that could potentially be the winning move if this race goes green. There you can see the second place driver, the number 15, Kenny Kibbe, coming down, getting service on that machine. And we see in the chat, Michelle cheering for Brent Roy on the number 26 ride. Brent, we'll take a Brent check, running 5th, P5 in the number 26 machine. Has not made a pit stop just yet. But then we can see Kenny Kibbe getting right sides. They're going to drop the right side and jack up the left side. That's going to be a 4-tire stop there. And as we can see now, the 51, Johnny Two Belts, John Peters coming down pit road. Nice and smooth, nice and slow, getting down to pit speed just fine. He's going to come down and get some service on that machine. Probably the status quo. Full tires, Sunoco race fuel. Bang out some of the dents and dings and dents that may have popped out. There you see the 24, Austin Bolke, the extended ride. He's coming on down pit road. Jason Rickner in the 9, he's going to come down and get service to his machine as well, as the lead gets handed over temporarily. Matt Shanowski out front. Brent Roy now running in the 2nd position. Won at Talladega Daytona a few weeks ago, and looks like he is battling hard with some of the drivers that already have fresh tires, the 55 as well as the 10. Charles Lewandowski as well has not made a pit stop just yet, but he's running in the 3rd position.
Brent Roy was making his way into the top 10 there not too long ago. He made his moves before the pit stops, and he was able to climb into the top 10, so he was one of the faster cars there. I think he's betting on a caution at this point. Staying out this long is just going to hurt his tire situation, because even if he comes down right now, the 17 laps are not going to it's not going to be long enough to quite make up the ground you lose here. It may pay off in a longer run. We'll have to just see what happens for Brent. Pulling for him, since we got some fans in here. Love to see Brent stay up there, maybe get a couple laps led here in just a moment in that 26 car.
Charles Lewandowski and Brendan Newhouse give up 4th and 5th. They slide on pit road to get service there. John Peters, who's made his pit stop already. There you see him battling for position. That 5th place spot. Kenny Kibbe right behind him. John Peters in 5th, trying to work up. You can see the 56 race-winning, lead-taking move potentially came down, was able to get capitalize on fresher tires for an extra lap or 2, and it looks like his pit stop was 14.1 seconds. John Peters, Kenny Kibbe both tied with a 14.4. So came down a little bit early, was able to capitalize on some quicker lap times with those fresher tires, and the pit crew did a great job for him, getting him on and off pit road. May very well be the race-winning combo. 15 laps to go at the stripe.
Oh, that definitely worked out for him. As we were talking before, I must be listening to Larry Mack a little too much, because that came out to exactly what we were talking about just a moment ago. The 56 leapfrogs to what will be the lead position once the green flag pit stops cycle out. Evan, right now, he's got, let's see, the gap between him and John Peters. He's got about a half-second gap between the 2 of them. So we're just going to have to see how that's going to play out. Now, John's going to have a couple laps better tires, but right now I'm the guy with a track position at 56. It paid off already. Now, the other thing that could have happened you pull a strategy like that, say he stayed out another 2 or 3 laps, John Peters, he called onto it pretty quick. Lucky for him, he didn't lose too much ground. Another lap or two, you're looking at a gap instead of being a half a second to a second and a half to 2 seconds. Right now, Peters trying to work his way up. It looks like, actually, looking at the leaderboard, there may have already been a change for the top spot.
Brent Roy stayed out and led himself a lap or two. We can see Wyatt Alexander, 96, haven't mentioned his name all night long. That car is very, very slow at this point. He is the last driver who to make a pit stop, and it's he is praying for a caution at this point. You can see he's running real slow, trying to save as much fuel as he can. The tires on that car absolutely shot. Much, much slower than the leaders. John Peters is 9.5 seconds behind the 96 of Wyatt Alexander, so has a little bit of time to make up, but it's not going to do him any good if he can't hold on. As we can see, that last lap, that gap closed by an entire second, 8.5 seconds. Now the gap between the lead and John Peters, who's moved himself up to the second position, dropping Kenny Kibbe back to third, Evan Bollier into the fourth position. There you see Devin Marhefka, the number 22. He's going to come out in the fifth spot. Austin Bolke, he's got a 2-tire stop, as well as Matt Shanowski in the 0. Looks like it was working for Austin Bolke a little bit, but lots of 4 tires. There you see Kyle Casagrande, who is a lap down. He's trying to get around some of these drivers. 10, 9, 14, 52. Another gaggle of cars here, pretty much again from 5th on back.
Well, I can tell you now, Wyatt Alexander is hanging on for dear life to those tires. We got a lot of racing action going on here. This is what he likes to see. He wants one of these guys. He's begging for a yellow, because if that yellow flies, that keeps Wyatt with that track position, and there's a good possibility that all these cars come down for another set of 4 tires. So Wyatt's playing a long-run strategy here, a little bit of a Paul Wolf call per se, and hoping one of these guys loses the rear end of their race car and goes around bringing out the first yellow flag. But I don't know, so far these drivers are pretty impressive, man. They haven't seen really any contact between any cars, so very respectful racing, and not but that one incident, that car got a little bit sideways in the grass, gathered it up. We haven't seen a single yellow yet.
And that's one of those things, everybody comes to me of Vidane TV and says, listen, we want to watch some clean green flag racing. We want to see some competitive racing. I always tune them over to the NEPS League. These guys do a fantastic job. A lot of Northeast racers that race at local tracks, Stafford, Jennerstown, Oxford, a lot of guys that have run the Oxford 250. Just some great personalities, great driving styles, and there comes John Peters. You see him on the top of your screen, the top left. Up by the race counter, we can see as Wyatt Alexander crosses the stripe, 11 laps to go, and here comes Johnny Two Belts. The 51 machine blows by the number 96 like he's Falcon 9, one of those rockets from Elon Musk. And there you can see the 15 going to make it 3 wide, trying to get around the 78 of Michael Hopkins, and does so cleanly. A little bit of a 3 wide action there. And you can see a little bit further back on the right side of your screen, the number 56 of John Bollier, Evan Bollier, moving as closely up to the back bump of the 96 as he can. Still has to make that pit stop. Doesn't have tires, doesn't have enough fuel to make to the end of the show. But there you can see, still holding tough, trying to hold on for a caution. At that point, that would be the best thing for him. And at this point, he's in a pretty good spot. If he is able to milk that fuel tank all the way through, he may be able to hold on to a top 5 position. It's still 9 seconds back to 5th place Devin Marhefka.
Yeah, he's got a nice little gap back a little bit further, and kind of throughout the whole field, it's separated pretty good for Wyatt. If he can somehow stretch the fuel out another 10 laps, I'm curious if that's his goal at this point. It seems though
right looks now, like he's out. Looks like he's out.
It looks like he's out right now. I'm not sure. He's gone down to the apron of the racetrack. Sure looks like the 96 machine ran himself out of fuel, but I tell you what, man, I love the commitment. You know what you're trying to do. You tried it. It didn't work, but you stuck with it, man. You held your guard, and very respectful for Wyatt. Love the strategy, man. Keep trying. That could have very well paid out to work for you. Maybe next time, but right now he's going to come down. He's still begging for a caution before the leaders come around and put him a lap down. But John Peters set sail still, man. He went right by that 56 machine. He just had to set up under that car. That 51's been put together perfect for him tonight. Back Kenny Kibbe still holding that second position, and Evan B. Sorry, I just can't figure out that last name. I'm gonna have to do some phonetics learning after this, because I'm just stuttering and stammering over it. But I love Evan B. He's been running in that top 3 all night, looking good. He's been really the only competitor for that top 2 all night.
Status quo up top. There you can see the number 22, Devin Marhefka. He's running in that 4th position, and a big gap back to the number 10, Dale Glessner, and the Channel Lock machine running in the 5th spot. Jason Ricker behind him in the number 9, Aubuchon ride. And you can see he is trying to close in on the number 10 car. Not quite there. Both running the same line. There you see Corey Casagrande, Zane Farrell. You cannot separate these two guys. Wherever one is on the racetrack, the other one's right next to it or right behind him. There you see Zane trying to get his sights set on the back bumper of the number 52. Brent Roy, the lone Canadian in the field, currently running in the 9th position, led himself a couple of laps throughout the green flag pit stops earlier on, and Brandon Marhefka in the 13, currently rounding out the top 10. Still green flag all the way through lap number 53 on the board. John Peters leading that 51 machine. Kenny Kibbe in 2nd, Evan Bollier in the 3rd spot. Great racing here at Auto Club Speedway for the Shift Marketing and Design Grand National Series. Absolutely flawless race so far for John Peters. Green flag pit stops. We saw him cycle all the way through. Wyatt Alexander with a big gamble there on the 96 machine. Didn't pay off this week, unfortunately. Hoping for a caution to come out, and it just didn't happen. Lots of room and lots of different strategies here at the track, but looks like Johnny Two Belts is pretty much in for a Sunday drive at this point. Just has to make his hit his marks, get through a little bit of lap traffic here. He's got almost a full second lead on that number 15 of the 2nd place driver, Kenny Kibbe.
No doubt, Kibbe just a little bit faster. He had 2/10 on him last lap. I'm pretty sure John's just trying to hold that car straight for the remainder of the event. But if that continues, we can see that 15 machine get up there and give the 51 a run for his money. I believe John is just trying to hold on like he was earlier in that first run, just trying to keep the tires under him and not force the issue, as it looks like he extended the gap this time by. We'll just have to keep an eye on the time. And, yeah, John Peters running out front, but I really like Dale Glessner's recovery. That's definitely a big story of the race. Dale came down, got sideways, locked him up, bounced off the pit road wall, shifted about 3-4 times to get that thing where it needed to be to get the pit stop, and the man's back in the top 5. So very impressive by him. Brent Roy, I'm impressed with him. He's moved up another spot to 8th. We were talking about him earlier, having one of the fans on our page chat. Thank you for joining us. But what I like about Brent, he stayed out, led that lap, and I was sitting there saying, oh, that's not going to work. You know, good luck with that kind of thing. And here he is proving me wrong, getting back up in the top 8 already, man, and working on that top 7 position right now.
There you can see him on the high side of the number 55 of Jeffrey Brown. Jeff had a earlier race incident. I believe he was the car that was pointing in the wrong direction in the first couple of laps here, but the pace Barney up there in the flag stand, showing him the high 5 laps to go here at Auto Club Speedway for the champ, John Peters. There you can see putting the number 44 of Scott McDonald 1 lap down, setting his sights there on the 09 of Dylan Kopech, and just really picking him up, putting him down at this point. John Peters is on absolute rails, and looks like it's clean sailing from in front of the 09 of Dylan Kopech. So as soon as John Peters picks him up, puts him back down, just has to hope the caution doesn't come out in the last 4 laps here.
Well, we can definitely tell that Kenny Kibbe was getting all he could out of that car just a few laps ago. He was faster, but now it's looking like John Peters just steady Freddy out front, man. He's consistently running the same lap back to back, and as he does that, the rest of the guys start slowing down here and there because they're just pushing for everything they get back to the back bumper of that 51 car. But we got 4 laps to go as he finishes probably the last lap car of this race, and he doesn't quite clear him. Looks like that 09 doesn't want to go a lap down. He is begging to stay on that lead lap. Ryan Newman saw he didn't block him. No, he didn't do nothing wrong. 09 just fighting to stay. You know, you got 4 laps to go. You want to tell everybody I finished on the lead lap in this NEPS competition because it's a very competitive field, as you guys seen tonight. It's really hard to stay with the top front guys when it goes green flag all the way. You got to be paying attention to strategy, the green flag pit stops, getting on and off of pit road, and also tire conservation.
That's the 09 of Dylan Kopech. Started in the back of the pack, didn't take a qualifying lap, wanted to put himself up for a challenge to try and move himself up towards the front. Currently running into 16th. A little bit of a tough race here for him at the Auto Club Speedway, but really hard to get around John Peters and that 51 rental machine. Holy smokes, is that guy fast. You can see the 15 of Kenny Kibbe trying to get around the 09 as well, but they cross the stripe. Popsicle sticks. 2 laps to go at Auto Club Speedway, and John Peters putting a hurt on the field, looking like an 0.8 of a second back to second place, Kenny Kibbe, and then it's about 5-6 seconds back to Evan Bollier. Devin Marhefka fourth, Dale Glessner in that 5th position. Green flag all the way throughout. We got about a half a lap to take that white flag. Once that once that white flag comes out, the next flag ends the race.
That's right. We're coming to white flag here on Vidane TV. If you guys haven't, make sure you follow us on all the outlets. I'll let Paul give you all the outlets, but I know we got Twitch, we got Facebook, we're on kind of everything here on YouTube. Make sure you follow us everywhere there as we go. One more lap to go. It's all John Peters. He's led nearly the entire race. He's led, I would say, 80% of it. This 51 machine is untouchable thus far.
Championship implications in the 51 camp. John Peters, the defending and reigning NEPS Grand National Series champion, brought to you by Shift Marketing and Design, and making it look easy here at Auto Club Speedway, rocking himself down into turn number 3. All he's got to do is make the turn in the corner of 3 and then 4, come across into that start-finish line. He's going to give a quick little wave to the fans on the front stretch. Cross that stripe, checkered flag in the air. Johnny Two Belts wins here at the Auto Club 60. Kenny Kibbe comes home in second. Evan Bollier crosses that stripe in 3rd place, and we'll give it a little bit of time here before that 4th place ride comes through. Devin Marhefka going to close in tonight's race 4th, and we'll take a peek as these drivers cross the line. Rickner 5th. There you see Dale Glessner finishes 6th. Brent Roy coming home with a solid top 10 run in 7th. Corey Casagrande, a little bit of contact there between Corey Casagrande and Brent Roy. I'm sure it's all in good fun. Oh, that hurt. Here comes Zany.
Say that was all in good fun. I don't think there was any. Oh, yeah, here we go. Got some fun little action going on after. Gotta love it, man. That's one thing on iRacing. When it's done, just destroy the thing. You're not running it again. You might as well. It's all fun here on iRacing and its service. Make sure you guys check it out once again. And, love seeing Brent Roy get up there in that 7th spot. He made up 4 spots after that. I said you were calling a wrong strategy there, bud. And sure enough, he gets in that top 7. Good for him.
Yeah, great run for Brent Roy. Here you can see Charles Lewandowski finishing 11th, Brandon Newhouse 12th, Matt Kentfield, Austin Bolke, and Matt Shinowski 15th. Going to round out the lead lap cars. And there you can see Dylan Kopech just getting lapped there in the last couple of laps, finishing 16th. Scott McDonald, Michael Hopkins, Kyle Casagrande, David Arute, and Jeffrey Brown, Wyatt Alexander, who led a few laps, ended a couple of laps down. But John Peters coming home first, coming home with the win. And, man, just an absolute monster of a race for Johnny Two Belts. We're going to shoot down to victory lane. There you see a little bit of a tag there from the 78. I'm sure that's a congratulatory T-bone from the 78, Michael Hopkins. But, John, another great race, man. Congratulations on another win.
Thanks, Paul. Sorry for the viewers if that one put you to sleep there. I think it's the first race in NEP history to go with no cautions, which is a great thing for us. I think that means we did an okay job, but good to be in victory lane, of course. Happy to get another win, and just kind of helps going down the stretch here, so definitely excited about it.
Yeah, for sure. Championship implications. Taking a look. Gail says, congratulations. Woohoo, JPM. Way to go, John, from Patty. And, man, it's cool to see all the fans jumping in the Facebook chat, congratulating and waving the 51 banner from up in the stands. And, yeah, it's the first green flag, green to green flag race we've had from green to checkers. And a little bit of damage there after that late race contact there. But, man, just a phenomenal win, and we noticed the second place in championship points, Ryan Libby, not in the field here tonight. Do we have any idea what the deal is with that?
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed to see that too. I think Ryan had something with work that made it so he couldn't make the race tonight. But definitely, it was a little bit disappointed not to see him. Always great to race with Ryan, of course. Want to be able to race this thing out with him. So maybe we'll see what we can do there. But definitely bummed to see him. I kind of expected that this might be a pretty common team race. So as you kind of saw there, it was mostly about tire management pacing yourself, making sure that you still had a right front tire there. And then pit strategy kind of played in towards the second half of the race. You saw some guys pit early, some pit a little bit later. So that part was at least interesting and a unique element here for Auto Club.
Absolutely, and definitely made it look easy all the way through. Nice and smooth on the racetrack, nice and smooth on pit road, and the pit crew definitely getting it done as well. So we got Runtle on the hood, we got Runtle on the quarter panels, and we know your dog's in the background somewhere, the girlfriend as well. Who else gets it done for the 51 machine?
Yeah, you nailed it. I appreciate those people. Thanks to those who watched and viewed tonight. Thanks to my parents, Patty and Steve, and whoever else is watching. I appreciate the support. Thanks to Libby Septic, Turn 4 Automotive, Four Season Synthetic, Digby's Variety, of course, in addition to Runtle. Thanks to you guys, Vidane. I can't believe we only have 2 races left this year, but hopefully we can put on a good show next week at Irwindale, because we got to entertain the masses, Paul, right?
Absolutely, and speaking of which, we got Atlanta tomorrow night in the trucks. You got anything for them?
You know, that was my pick. Each team got one pick of a track this season, and I voted Atlanta. So I think it'll be interesting. I think it's a super abrasive track. You got to kind of run that hard line they talk about every time. So it's unique. It should be fun. We should be bouncing around and moving around quite a bit. And the trucks will be a good car for it, or excuse me, a good vehicle for it. So I think that'll be fun. We'll see. We should have a good show tomorrow night.
Johnny Two Belts may very well be a nickname that's going to stick. Championship implications here tonight. Best thing you can do for the points lead, win a race. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
Going to kick it on down a little bit further down pit road. Dave, you've caught up with second place, Kenny Kibbe.
Hey, Kenny, man, great run there into the top 2 position. We were getting excited up in the booth, actually, over to strategy. What was your decision there to come down to pit road? What played into your thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, John started running away from me a little bit towards the end of the run, so I wanted to do the undercut and pit early, but I was actually thinking originally of pitting around halfway, and then I was thinking, oh, we're going to get a caution or something. That's going to be too aggressive, which is, if you watch the series on Vidane TV, you'll notice that that's kind of my style, is aggressive pit strategy, one way or another. But then I noticed Evan pitted, and he undercut both of us. So I was like, well, shoot, I'm going to have to pit now. So pitted around lap 40 and put us, all 3 of us, right together, which was really interesting. And then, just all of us seemed to be driving pretty hard there at the end. And I thought maybe I could get him like I did at the beginning of the race. But John just had a little bit better pace than me there at the end.
No doubt. It looked like, with that pitch strategy, that it didn't really affect you too bad, that you came in at just the right time. You didn't lose too much on the 56 or on John. And we were talking about it nearly for 15 laps in the booth, mainly me. I was just curious. It's tough in these iRaces because it's not like you're always sitting there planning strategy. You're more planning the race out. And then when all of a sudden it goes green flag for 40 laps, you start thinking, hey, I'm going to have to make the green flag pit stop. I'm going to have to learn how to shift down. But anyway, enough on that, man. It was great seeing you get out front and lead some laps. You got any sponsors on the side of that 15 car?
I'd just like to thank everybody at Vidane TV for putting on the broadcasts, everybody at the NEP Shift Marking Design group for coming out every week and putting on the series. Thanks to everybody that raced with us this week for putting on a nice, clean race. Kudos again to John for his another victory, and good racing with Evan as always. Those guys have been a real hoot to race against this season. And thanks to everybody who likes to tune into these races every week. And thanks to, I guess I'll throw this in there, thanks to Jeff Brown for painting the O'Connor's paint scheme for me this season. It's been a real sharp car.
Definitely a very sharp car. Loved watching it. Good job on the top 2, man. Tasting the champagne. Not quite there yet, but look forward to you getting that done here in the next couple weeks with what we have left. 2 weeks left here in NEPS series. I'm going to shoot back over to Paul Strickland, who's going to be with our 3rd place driver in the 56 car, Evan Boulier.
Boulier. Finally got clarification on how your last name was said there, Evan. Great race. Man, we thought you had the race-winning move coming down pit road a little bit earlier by 2 or 3 laps before John and Kenny, but man, it looks like they got around you. Talk to us about your race.
Yeah, unfortunately, I just I think I had the right strategy. I knew that was the only way. In most of these races, you got to try to do something different. If you can't, if you don't have the speed, so pitted early, and a couple laps after, I just smacked the wall out of 4, and it just killed the car. And we both got by me right as I got in the wall, and just another mistake. Been having too many of them lately to make these races slip away from me.
Yeah, we saw that running up towards the front in the top 3. Really, not too much of a challenge between outside of that top 3. John Peters, Kenny Kibbe, and then yourself in the 56 car. Was it all set up? What was the deal up front?
Well, I just couldn't get it's tough here. It gets strung out, and you try to overdrive. I felt like I was saving tires, but obviously not enough, and it's just hard to get a consistent pace going with these. And obviously with no yellows, just had to run as clean as you could every lap, as consistently as you could. So it was different. It was different for these cars. We're used to a lot of short tracks, so I'll be honest, Auto Club wouldn't be on my list of tracks to race at. So, but it was still a good race. I'm glad that we were able to make it green to checkered. It was still a lot of fun. Great series. Glad that like I said, it was a clean race. So what more can you say?
Absolutely, and top 3 is nothing to shake a stick at here. Got a lot of sponsors on that number 56 car. Who gets it done for that machine? Yeah,
we're lucky. We got our great sponsor, Hancock Lumber. Always been a great partner of mine for the last 15 years now, and Bullier Construction, Restorations, Home Remodeling, Nitro Designs, and Nitro Apparel, LB Cleaning Company. I thank my wife for all of her support in all these races, and I'll take one out of John's book and thank the dog as well. She's sitting on the couch watching me too. So thank all my friends and family that tune in every week, and thank you guys as well. It's been a lot of fun. I don't want to see this season go. We got 2 more races left.
2 races to go this season, and well, then we start planning for next season. So good, right. Good looking out there, and we've got the trucks wrapping up tomorrow night at Atlanta as well. You got anything for them?
That'll be a fun race. We've been fast in the trucks every race. It's just a matter of just putting it all together. So we'll see what we can do tomorrow night.
Excellent. Looking forward to it. Evan Bollier in the 56 machine finishing in that 3rd position. We see John Peters is absolutely, thank you. And John Peters hanging out behind the camera, still trying to get a little bit more TV time. John, what are you doing, man?
Hey, sorry, Paul. Let me come out from the curtains real quick. Just wanted to give a shout out to Landon Babineau. I heard he was watching tonight, so thanks for watching, Landon. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And we see Wyatt Alexander hanging out here. The number 96 driver finished a couple laps down. I wouldn't talk to him. Wyatt, man, you stayed out hoping for a caution. And, man, it almost played out. But unfortunately, well, it's kind of give and take a little bit. Didn't quite get the yellow flag to make that strategy work. But, definitely worth the gamble. Talk to us about your race.
Oh, messed up in qualifying. That's pretty standard. And then ran second half of the field, stayed out, and then finished last 2 laps down. So, you have that sometimes. It's, not a great point tonight. But we'll probably not get him at Dover and finish the season out like we've been running all year. So,
Live and learn, and hey, we're already talking about the next season, so we'll see if we can transfer some of the notes over to there.
That's right, Paul. Thanks for everything you do.
Absolutely.
I love it. Paul, I think I want to give him the hard-nosed crew chief of the race by sticking with that strategy all the way through. Why? Did you blow a right front tire? Because I actually had that happen the first time ever on an 87 Monte Carlo. I was running in the top 5, and it blew out on me in this game, and I had no idea you could actually do that.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I had no idea. I was really harping on myself. I thought I saved tires a little bit, and then towards the end of the fuel run, it started driving really bad. But I was like, well, maybe if I was still ahead of Hopkins. I was like, maybe if I can just take fuel and be in lucky dog contention, if there's a wreck at the end, I'll come in and get 4 and then, be in the right spot because Hopkins had damage from before. And then right as I came out of the pits, about 2 laps later, I hit the fence because it just didn't turn. So, yeah, blew it right front. Never had that happen before.
Yeah, man, it's always something new on iRacing, and I learned that lesson at Martinsville. We were long run. It was like 100 laps in, and I was driving the living crap out of the race car towards the end of it, and a couple guys pit. I said, "Why are they pitting? I'm still flying." And next thing you know, I went around and backed it in the fence, and my right rear said 0%. And I went, "You got to be kidding me!" It cost me the championship. So it happens to all of us.
I just put the picture up there. I'd never seen it before, but apparently it's a thing. Live and learn.
Oh yeah, no doubt. First time going when you're going on pit strategy like that, or one of the first times, it's something you learn with the iRacing program. A lot of unique things they have that they actually simulate similar to real life. But I'm gonna shoot it back over to Paul for the rest of the interviews tonight. I believe we got Brett Roy waiting there in the background.
Yeah, just we got a little bit of time here. We pretty much went green flag throughout the entire race, so we'll do a little Brent check. Brent, you got a copy?
Hey guys, what's going on? I was just here to listen to John because I listen to him all race, and then we listen to his interview every week. So I just wanted to make sure he thanked his dog.
Absolutely, I actually beat him to it here tonight, so that was kind of cool. We saw you let a couple of laps there, waiting for green flag pit stops to kind of cycle through, and decent finish, top 10 for the 26 ride. Talk to us about it.
Screwed up qualifying. Me and Wyatt decided to have a party at the back there with Kopak and, start everything back there. Just kind of hang out for a while. Try to conserve some stuff. And then we were able to come up through a little bit once some guys' tires got worn out. So we were able to make some headways there. And I was trying to catch a caution. And I thought I was the last car out. And then Wyatt was out there leading laps, kept going. So, just quite an interesting race. We don't usually go green, so it's kind of neat to see that.
Absolutely, and we got a bunch of sponsors on the 26 car. Who's making it happen for you?
On this car, we got the Wolf tobacco that you're probably not allowed to advertise anymore, but throwback to a Butch Miller car from the ASA days. A lot of the guys I race with grew up watching the Busch North series, and that's really what this series is about. But I grew up in Canada watching the ASA series on the TNN network that we got up here, and Butch Miller was the guy I always pulled for, so that's throwback to that car. But in real life, we gotta give a shout out to Sewell's Paving, Recar here in Fredericton, Michelle Roy, Remax Group 4 Realty. Can't say that anymore. Remax East Coast Elite Realty now. I'll get the slap on the wrist for that one. But thank all the partners making it happen on here and there.
Absolutely. Brent Roy, the number 26, a solid top 10 finish this evening. And just getting a text message from the race officials with the point standings. It's John Peters and everybody else. John Peters absolutely picking up the field and putting them down. 8 wins on the season. 8. Count them. 2 hands. 8 wins. Absolutely astonishing season for the number 51, and well on his way to that second championship with 2 races to go. Ryan Libby is still in second. He's got 5 wins, but he's now 50 points behind John Peters. So looks like John just pretty much has to show up the next couple of races, and he's going to be able to lock that championship in. But man, oh man, Dave, your first race here at Vidane TV. Great to have you on board. We got a lot of stuff that you and I are going to be working on here in the next couple of weeks. Let me get your final thoughts, man. What do you think?
Man, I thought it was great. The NEPS store definitely gave us a show tonight. It may not have been what we expected. We're always looking for door-to-door action and a little bit of hand-to-hand combat, if you want to call it that. But what we got to see tonight is a lot of drivers laid out for all 60 laps, show what their strategy is worth, their kind of crew chief skills, because you gotta kind of be your own crew chief. We also got to see their driving ability and how they're going to save tires on a 40-lap run. And as Wyatt said, he blew out that right front. He just went a little bit too long, about lap 53 there when it happened. But, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, and I hope to be back here on Vidane TV whenever you guys allow me, man. Look forward to it.
Absolutely, and well, we got some action coming up here. No rest for the wicked, as it were. Taking a look at the upcoming events here. There you can see it on your screen. NEPS Super Trucks tomorrow night, crowning a champion at Atlanta Motor Speedway. 9 o'clock start time for that. Another championship night on Saturday. The Sim 500 Vidane Racing Super Speedway Championship. E.J. O'Rourke, Richard Beasley, Mitchell Hunt, and one other driver, Kevin Brown Can't believe I forgot Kevin Brown. They're going to be going for that championship. 4 drivers in the fatal 4-way race. Whoever wins or whoever finishes best out of those 4 drivers in the 43-car field at iRacing Super Speedway going to walk away with the Pro-Am belts, custom championship belt, as well as a free street stock rental at Stafford Motor Speedway. They're going to be racing at Stafford Speedway on June 11th, Friday night. The night before, Tony Stewart and Ray Evernham's SRX Series makes their debut with another driver announced earlier on today, Michael Waltrip. That is going to be an absolute trip, and we're going to be hanging out at Stafford Speedway that weekend, so be sure to join us. We'll be partying all night, all weekend long, camping out at the track. Plenty of food, plenty of beer. Just show up and have a good time. Sim Racing Unleashed, they're going to be making their debut here on Vidane TV Sunday night. Really looking forward to those guys, just kind of inking in all the final details for those guys. They're going to be racing Sunday night, 8 o'clock. Sim 500 Trans Service Cup Series racing here Monday night. RBR Maritime Group, the 3rd championship that we're going to have here in 7 days. They're racing Tuesday night and then another doubleheader on Wednesday. Tim's Corner Motorsports Weekly Racing Series from the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. And the Fatheads Cup Series is going to be racing right after that. So lots and lots and lots of racing action coming up here on Vidane TV in the next 7 days, and you can always shoot on over to vidane.net and check out all of the action there. We've got a full calendar of events, and we've been harping on it all year so far. 4 to 5 races every single week throughout the month of May, and still booking stuff for the second half of 2021. So lots of big stuff coming up here in the next couple of weeks, and a full racing schedule ahead of us, and I'm really looking forward to it myself. But going to wrap things up here. If you want to shoot on over, thanks everybody to watching on Facebook and on YouTube and on Twitch. Vidane TV on all the social media outlets, and shoot on over to Vidane.shop and pick yourself up a hat or a t-shirt with a Vidane TV logo. Let your friends and family know that you watch this thing called iRacing here on the Vidane TV network. Want to thank you guys again. Showtime Paul Strickland Jr., David Palenz making his Vidane TV debut up here in the booth, and for everybody from the Shift Marketing and Design Grand National Series here for the NEPS League. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll catch you on the flip side, and when we do, we'll be doing it live. Have yourselves a great night.